Hi, I'm Hein, and today I'm going to talk about etch process. Mm, as you know, the etching means removing something from some surface. In semiconductor fabrication process, the etching means to remove materials which is identified by the lithography process. In etching process, there are some targets. For example, the silicon and silicon dioxide, which is often used for insulator, and silicon nitride, which is often used for spacer and or some metals like aluminum or tungstens. To make a perfect etch, there are some special process which can control the etch. Today I'm introduce some process which is called CESL, contact etching stop layer. With, with this, you can cover some materials which you don't like to etch with some different materials like silicon nitride, and you have to choose the etchant which can etch the silicon nitride and cover the silicon nitride with silicon oxide which you want to etch, and you use the etchant that I mentioned before. You can etch the silicon oxide, but the silicon nitride doesn't act with that etchant, so you can protect the silicon which you don't want to etch. In etching, we have some characteristics. The first thing is isotropic or anisotropic etching. The isotropic etching means if you start to etch, the etching direction is going to the or around the there. So you can find the shape like the circle of the half of the circle. But the anisotropic etching means you can etch the materials only in one direction you have defined. So we can use two types of etching. The first thing is wet etching, and the second thing is dry etching. Wet etching is the etching process which use the chemical materials. So it is cheap and simple, but it is a little bit hard to control and normally isotropic. In contrast, the dry etching is anisotropic because you can use the gas or ions to etch the material. In etch process, we can have some figures of merit. The first thing is etch rate. Etch rate means the amount of materials which is removed from the vapor over a defined period of time. The second thing is uniformity. Uniformity means how uniformly the surface was etched. And second thing is etch profile, which I mentioned, isotropic or anisotropic and isotropic. And first thing is etch selectivity. Etch selectivity is very important parameter. It means it can define the difference of the ratio of the two materials velocity, which is when it is etched. So you have to choose the high selectivity materials or etchants when you make a good etch. So with the high selectivity etchant, you can only etch the materials you want to etch and doesn't make some critiques on the other materials. And in wet etching, the process is very simple. You have to put some reactant on the surface and selective and control the reaction on the edge of the etchant with the film to be etched. And next, you have to transport of the byproduct away from the surface. Today I introduced about etching process in overall process, but especially in wet etching. Next review, maybe I'm talk about the dry etching. Thank you for listening.